Recently I've been thinking that my postings, they've been going through the same old. Uh, but then just not long ago I came across my old diary, which is in electronic form, but it's writing. So I didn't start doing this straight away when I was suspected of having MS, but I started keeping a diary, and it felt, or it feels awkward to have stuff on, what do you call it, paper or in text. It somehow doesn't sit well with me. So what I thought I'd do, let's see if I can find it, is that I would actually go through my thoughts, or what I've written down, so that I have them in a video format. So the very first entry, oh, this is earlier than I thought. Or no, it's actually not. It's the funny American date format that threw me off. It's 12/1/205, which, knowing that they're Americans, it's most likely first of December 2012. But this is the first entry. This will come clear later on. It states, the Bible encourages us to us not to forget what good God has done for us. So this is a utility, or a method of me keeping track of what good God has done. So that's my initial statement on why I'm actually holding a blog, and the title is basically pen to paper, or put something on paper. For the very same day, 1st of December 2015, and the entry goes, we went as the whole project team, eating at a place called Queen's Head, and then there's a URL, http www.queenshead.se. So basically it was a project team. My former boss was supposed to be there, and I got another guy from EMC, but they had, well, they always do, they always have something to do, so they weren't there. And so there was a couple of guys from the project, and then there's an old guy that I knew from EMC, who I think now is a product manager at EMC, but has moved on. People, or the members of the project, they were a bit taken back by me ordering a gluten-free beer, and instead of ordering a steak with potatoes, I ordered a steak with vegetables. Why I'm now interpreting why I didn't take the potato is because it had milk in it. Now, I had criticism about why I'm fiddling with my diet, and why don't I eat meat, because my wife is there, not putting pressure on me to eat healthy. In addition to the beer, gluten-free beer. I had a glass of red wine, and then I went back to the hotel, walked to via a store where I got what do you call it? Kale, carrots, apples, and nuts. In this entry, I'm reading a link that Botte has given me. The link name is hdfoster.com, where a strong correlation between diet and illness is forming an illness, stopping an illness, and reversing an illness. All of this is bundled into. And the special mention that this site has is vitamin D, and the lack thereof. And apparently it has been an interesting site because I have only gone to bed after midnight, and wake up call in Sweden was at 6 o'clock. And then there's a suspicion that don't know what is causing it, lack of sleep or what I ate. They gave me a horrible feeling. And then there was, maybe I noticed this in the videos, there was a guy who was a beggar at Karlaplan. He was surprisingly, normally they're from Romania or Bulgaria, but he was from Portugal. He was quite a good looking guy. And I got into a habit that I popped in, there's a kiosk, and I bought him a sandwich and a water, some tasty water or something like that, a bar of chocolate and something, a coffee if they had it on offer. And here I'm actually saying that when I came out with the meal and the Portuguese the MP3 player armed with a Portuguese Bible, he had disappeared, and the only thing that was there was the mattress that he was sitting in. So I left the Bible and the food on his seat wherever he normally sat and did his begging. And when I got to work, felt horrible, but during the day it got better, and I had a feeling of numbness in my feet and my hands, in parentheses it's still ongoing, and it was a general weakness that occasionally felt like nausea. As a thanksgiving for this day, I have to say that we got a message that one of our colleagues, his assignment would continue to the end of the year, and this is now then. That's weird. But I'm guessing it's talking about 2016. So it's very interesting reading these, what I've been thinking. The next one is the 2nd of December 2015. What a night! Hands completely numb, crying. I am angry to the food. This is in Finnish, I'm translating on the fly, that's why I'm kind of staggering. I'm angry at food and big pharma, that regardless of the health of people, feed them stuff that they know are dangerous for them, making money while they're destroying the lives of people. This was in parentheses. So my hands went, and it took me a while crying before I started sleeping again. A horrible morning. This morning, I was feeling weak and wanted to vomit, and don't know what causes it. But I was able to eat something at hotel breakfast. My trip to work went through Gärdet, where I knew there was a Romanian beggar to whom I brought a wrap, a fruit, a drink, and a voice Bible on my MP3 player ordered from China. The day at work went fairly alright, regardless of how I felt. But it was good because I just sat there and didn't do anything but configure this is a technical term, configure a TBO and the incoming thing, which is a daemon. I got the daemon up and running, but the TBO did not start to work because the installation project had been changed, leaving out a lot of required jar files. It was one of those days at work that I could have changed away. A big meeting room full of Swedes who were expecting for me to get everything working. Well, I didn't. I had repeatedly prayed that God would arrange me away from this type of work, because I do not get any fulfillment out of this work, and I easily blame myself more than would be about guilt. It's not directly correlated to that I feel that a lot of people in my line of business are what is ylimielinen? I can't even know. I can't remember what is ylimielinen. But basically feel that they're better than others, and they're unpleasant, and they quite often look fault in others. And I feel, this might be me, but I feel uncomfortable when I feel that I'm somehow responsible or have something to contribute to other people's problems. Again, when I was traveling to the airport, fatigue and numbness in my arms started to bother me. When I got to the airport, I ate nuts that I had bought Monday and called the wife who complained that she can't completely, she's unable to mention to our pastor why she's not so fully involved. I promised to call our pastor and tell what my situation is, so that I'm using code, that T's, what do you call it, pressure is let up a little. And when I called our pastor, he happened to be in a prayer meeting, and he promised to pour oil on me, and according to Jacob 5, and I'm saying that, well, let's see if that happens. And in Jacob 5, I think it calls about call on the elders and they'll come and pray for you. As a Thanksgiving, I need to mention that I got Info Archive up and running with the assistance of AP. And yesterday it felt felt like remote it felt like a remote dream. But anyway, it's interesting. They bring back memories. And I noticed that even though it's only been a fairly short period, it's been just about over a year that I've been, no, it's not even been a year that I've been doing these, but looking back at them, it's fairly interesting. So, this is my first stab at creating a multi-angle video, and well, you can be the judge. Was the result any good? But now I think I've found out, or I've thought about the process that how this needs to be done. Because if you have 3 cameras, you have a problem of syncing the 3 tracks. In better video editing software, you can have multiple video layers, and then you can just pick and choose which is. But in iMovie that I'm using, you can only have 2 video channels on it, and then you can alternate between them. But what I've now determined that I'll take 2 cameras and synchronize their video and do the splitting as I please, or as I see fit, and then I shall do an export into a movie file, and then I'll create a new project, import that created movie file into the new project, and then import the 3rd camera on top of that, and then I'll just sync. Now I've synced the whole video. Then I've synced in the initial, when I synced 2 videos, synchronized them and made a video output out of it, whatever I please, and then I take the 3rd video and I synchronize it with the created video, the one that I've already created in iMovie, and then I just cut the bits out that I don't like, and then hopefully I'll get a more meaningful video. And what I noticed that my translation on the fly isn't fluid enough, so I'll maybe do a bit of that in advance so that it's more smooth, but maybe it leaves more room for interpretation if I wing it. But anyway, it's Tuesday. We went to see this kindergarten property that we might be buying, and now I need to come up with a way where it's meaningful for us to buy it. And what are the sums that we get at cash flow positive, so that it's not a hindrance to our business but an asset. But yeah, Jesus is king of that also, and whatever, he'll know what will come out of it.